Hello, Shuffle. Yes, this is the graphic I can confirm. What title did I use? Oh, okay. How's your, how are you doing? Doing good. Hope you are as well. Yeah, I am. Good to hear you're doing good as well. I'm overwhelmed with the amount of work that I have to do, but it's not a bad thing necessarily. It's might even be a good thing. Okay, I need to adjust my stand. All work and no play makes for the best gambler the world's ever seen, according to me, because I'm always working. I'm having a lot of trouble drawing digitally, which is why you're seeing me struggle here. I wanted to do this physically, but then I realized I don't have the materials. I calculated the number of pages and all that. I checked the paper type that I'll need, which is actually not as expensive as I thought it would be. It's like a cardstock type paper. But it might not be the appropriate size is the only thing. And there are other complications with doing it physically versus traditionally. Editing's just going to be easier if I do it digitally. What the heck is this? Give me a joke so I can use it on you. Feeling lazy today? Okay. The joke is from a streamer that I watch. The joke goes something like this. A man walks into a bar. He says, ouch. Cool. When I went to the zoo the other day, all they had was a dog. It was a Shih Tzu. Yeah. How you doing, anyways? Suppose I'm doing fine. That's good. Yeah, I'm doing pretty alright. Just starting to feel pressure, which is not bad, but drawing looks pretty good. I couldn't tell though because I suck at drawing and I use code to make things. You can use code to make artwork. Can't even code things. Lucky. Or do you mean like you use code like video games or stuff like that? The most I've got like trying to do code was basically just trying to get ChatGPT to teach me how to make like uh make things in Twine, which is like a story format, or in Godot, the game. It's supposed to be like a really easy game programming thing or something. A game creating game engine or whatever. Like maps, that's all I use it for. Yeah, it's probably that's probably the case. Its context window isn't that big either. So like once you get building stuff, like okay, I need these and these variables to represent the character stats, and then they have sub dependencies on of this and that kind, and then you start to build further and further from that. You start to build like world systems, and then you try to refer back to the character variables, and then it doesn't really. You have to like constantly remind it to use those same variables. But yeah, it's good for just beginner type stuff, I guess, or very specific problems that you might run into when you're kind of figuring things out on your own. Oh, good evening, Gothic. How you doing? They added a memory feature to ChatGPT. Been a while since I used it. There is some, I guess, but I think like a lot of the features that make it like really useful are locked behind the paywall. And then Grok is just kind of dumb. I have a Twitter premium, so I use Grok. I've been using Grok to like see what it's like. It's kind of dumb. Their use is pretty basic. You're okay? That's good to hear. I am as well. Just kind of busy because I don't know. It's like high school. I'm procrastinating till like the last day. I'm supposed to have my outline ready today. Um, so then I could script from it, but I'm thinking about maybe skipping over the script process and going right to the paneling. I guess I'll try that out because yeah, it could save me time if that works out. Yeah, you could say save this to your memory or something and it will. Maybe it's a beta feature. Oh wait, I do know what you're talking about. Yeah. I don't know how much it can save for that, but or like if it has the context of different conversations, like if it on the back end summarizes a conversation that you had with it so that it has that to refer to when you are talking to it in a different conversation. I don't know how much some people start with paneling. Yes, they do. But I don't know. I have trouble figuring out exactly how I'm going to work this out because I don't know, maybe I overcomplicate things. Maybe I overthink things. How you doing by the way, Raymondo? Okay, so this brush, I think I'm going to be using it. I decided that I'm going to use this brush and probably this penciling tool. I guess I could use this for some things, but it feels too stiff compared to the brush. Good, how about you? That's good to hear. I'm having a bit of pressure, which is not a bad thing, but I'm good. Other than that, I guess. Well, it's not a bad thing, so it just feels bad, but um it'll push me in the right direction. Transfers between conversations. Yeah, the memory. Um I should probably run this the story that I once I get like the outline figured out. I should probably run it through ChatGPT and see if it can help me figure certain things out about the narrative. Maybe it'll pick up on something that I didn't that could speed things up too. Because sometimes you have to keep it and you let it marinate and then you come back to it after like a couple of days, even a week, and then you start to pick up on things. It's kind of like a drawing where you put it down for a bit, or a painting rather. You put it down for a bit, put it away for a bit, you come back to it, and then you see, oh, this needs to rework, this needs to rework, need to change the colors here, etc. Line work feels bad isn't exactly bad. Pretty much, yeah. Wouldn't take its exact words, it's inherently yeah, I know that. Like I have my own okay, so let me show you. So I have my own like document that I've written for like several years to go through and help me like with each step. Basically, it's a compilation of everything that I've learned from watching videos and like some things that I learned from failed projects, which there was a lot of, and I can use that to like kind of refer when I build stuff. And then I have my document here where I should be writing the outline. Um, there's like little pieces that are still here that were generated that I need to like either condense or revise so that I can actually use it in the character profiles and the story outline and stuff like that. But um obviously like I tried it to give it like character data and stuff and it just doesn't understand the characters. It can't do characterization apparently. It'll give you something very generic. And I don't know, sometimes the dialogue that they generate sounds like some Reddit tier snarky kind of Marvel quippy garbage. What software is that? This is Atom. It's a coding software. You might know about it. It's like a free um I don't know, some code thing. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but I use it to organize all of my text files. Because you can set the destination to save into your cloud. I'm on an Apple, so it's on all of my devices if I use it like this. All the files are Java or JSON or something. Really light. Oh, it's Apple. I just use VS. What is VS? All right. Maybe I'll work on this a little bit since I'm kind of depressed with my. It's not that drawing is bad. It's that it's not fast enough, and it's not like it. It's a struggle to draw digitally compared to physically. I did generate the file. This is not it. The file is here. So the file is gonna have them in double page spreads because I like those. They can kind of, it's easier to see how the pages relate to each other when you have a double page spread, and it has everything organized here to where it's a printable. It becomes like a printable file, which I have no intent to do right now, but who knows if it works out. That's something that I could look into because I know some people who have been doing that, and it's seems pretty cool. Seems pretty rad. Visual Studio, Visual Studio Code. Actually, I haven't heard of that. Let me check. Visual Studio Code. Is this also free? It looks really similar. Holy crap, it has AI integrated into it too. But it's like a co-pilot specifically. Uh, Interesting. Yeah. I don't know if this is gonna be something that I can use because it seems like it's a lot more to do with like actual coding, right? But that's cool. Free, yeah, that's even cooler, yeah. Extensions for languages and stuff. I'll definitely keep this in mind. Like if I ever decide that I want to try to build something in Godot, I'm sure this will be useful. Although I don't know, because Godot kind of has its internal uh thing. Hey Lotus, how you doing? It is a night for wondrous activities, hopefully. Yeah. So I'm gonna try to do some of this here. All right. On the way to camp, they are in Alex's 4x4 pickup. I have to check. Yeah, okay, so here. I have to check which vehicle to use. Because I narrowed down what time period it is. There has to be no GPS, right? So that puts them behind 1990. Feeling well, doing well, writing well. Hell yeah. I'm feeling well. Or I'm feeling well. I'm not doing so well because I'm behind, but we are working through it. Let's see. Okay, so if there's a vehicle that they're using, it has to be bought way before 1990. It has to be like at least 10 years old. So, mm, let's go 1975 to see if they have what kind of pickup trucks they have, or not what kind of 4x4s and stuff. 1975. Uh, pick up 4x4. So we got some Fords, we got some Chevys, we got uh I think I'll go with a Chevy. I like Chevy, so I'll go with Chevy. I'll find something here. 1943. I don't know, maybe that's a little far back. Okay, 1975 Chevy Silverado. Man, they used to okay, so a problem that I have, I don't know if you guys will agree, but like in the auto industry, it seems like they're using it's too simple to say AI, but it they are using some algorithms and stuff to process the data of what they can do to make their vehicles maybe more aerodynamic or whatever, right? Um, and it seems like they're all just being turned into the same looking vehicle. Like over time, they'll just turn into the same looking kind of round, smooth, or whatever. They lose their identity, is what I'm trying to get at. Because when you go back, the designs are even impractical, but they have an aesthetic and an identity, and you can like tell what car it is just by looking at it, really, like or what make it is, what brand it is. They use AI to make it more dynamic. There's no other real practical way to do it. So the AI had been ruining my vehicles. I see. I know they have those spray tests where they have the colored gases and stuff, and they have the cameras that kind of analyze how the fluids are flowing over the vehicles, where the resistance is and stuff like that. I know you have to have some consideration for it, but we're not trying to have planes on the road, so you don't need to go that far, I think. Okay, I think I found some. Wait, never mind. This is still a two. Maybe if I type in four seater, four seater. Okay, yeah, there are some here too, because it has to be able to have all the cast members in it. There's five cast members that are coming together to the site, so I think I found my vehicle here. Put in wind tunnels and do other tests, but it's typically based on computer simulations before it happens. I see. Okay, so I'm gonna go with this. $19.75 Chevrolet. Hmm. Looking here to see if they have like an off-road option or if it's just like, because there's a 1975 Ford F250 and that one looks like it would work too, but it doesn't have four seaters, at least not in this picture. Oh wait, this one does. Okay, so it's possible. All right, so I'll change that to a Ford. I'm just biased to Chevy, that's why I jumped to it. Ford F250. My dad hates Fords. I think he said something like the letters stand for, I'm trying to remember. Fix or repair daily, yeah. He didn't like Fords. I don't know if they're that bad or if they were that bad or not, but yeah. I always feel like it depends on the owner, how they maintain the vehicle. Its longevity is pretty much largely determined by that. I know that they can screw up sometimes, especially nowadays where they have like recalls. They're gonna have recalls like as much as video games need patches because of all the electronics and everything that they have in them. There's no need to hate on specific brands. You should only be concerned about the vehicles produced. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so 1975. Dad let him borrow it. That could probably. We need to establish these pieces of information. This one visually. This one is probably going to be in conversation. Uh, Tom left his parked motorcycle at their place. Okay. Alex drives as Sam attends to the map. No GPS, which puts them before 1990. Leia and Jordan banter about the back or in the back, but well, okay. So maybe that won't be the case, but I'll let these two ideas exist side by side before I decide between them. Because the other one is Tom's driving because Alex is too tired from wrapping up work. And then they can have a thing here about more a fixer than a driver, and maybe that could be uh, a way for us to also communicate that he's a mechanic. So we learn things about them, their dynamic, etc. The conversation can't go on very long though. It's like a page or two, and then they have to arrive at camp. So we have 10 panels, maybe, to establish their dynamic and stuff. Temporary location, group, etc. 10. 2 pages, let's say. 3 pages tops. Let's do that. Well, what area is it in, and would the fuel type be typically available there? Now you're making me curious. Is this a diesel? Because diesel would definitely be available, but I'm sure, like, where they're at, they're not going to be able to refuel technically. Like, at the campsite. Because, like, where I've been for camping, I don't go camping much, but where I've been, it's usually we fuel up in the city, and then there's rarely any stations. Maybe there's a local station that's like hardly manned. The guys sometimes, it's funny because you go out far enough and they are doing what they used to be doing, where the guy pumps the gas for you and stuff. But few and far between in terms of gasoline. For diesel, almost everywhere, like farm places, they have like a, especially if they're a bigger farm, they have reservoirs. I don't think it's a big problem. We'll assume that they fueled enough to go back and, or to go to the location and back.
Care package on the way.
The location though is like a, oh, hi Kale, how you doing? The location is Midwestern, probably more to the north. I think I this, or wait, no, maybe not north actually. I think I picked Kansas, which is more to the south. Yeah. How you doing, Kale? Yeah, Kansas. There we go. I had trouble finding it just now. But yeah, we're doing Kansas. Just because I like Kansas. I only drink pure diesel, so I don't need to go anywhere to refuel. I am the fuel. I see. That means you have to fart as often as you can, because if you don't, the pressure will ignite and you'll explode. Since diesel doesn't need ignition, they just compress it and it ignites itself. Alright, so the inexperienced campers, I think, like, not pro, so they'll probably fumble a bit here and help each other out and figure it out. Can't have that be too much of a focus though, because it's boring as shit. Don't you think diesel is flammable? Really? That's crazy. Is I would have thought it would be. Yes, it's flammable. um, yeah. So you gaslit me, piece of. The It's a class 2 flammable liquid, which means that it has a flash point between 100 Fahrenheit. Okay, so it's just higher. That's all. I guess most things are higher. Higher. Like, you could technically say wax is flammable because what's it called? Diesel's not flammable. Okay. Okay. if wax is flammable, diesel is flammable. Uh, yeah, I would say that it's just a higher flash point or whatever. The the wax I've gotten it to ignite. I think it's 500, is it? For wax? Let me see. Oh, wait, it's only if it's in gas. So you have to vaporize it first. What temperature? Uh, okay, so 250 or yeah, 250 Celsius, which is 400, almost 500 Fahrenheit. Okay, so I was right. Yeah. Guess a lot of things become flammable at that temperature. Yeah, so it's not, I don't know, explosively flammable like gasoline is, but still. The okay, so location. Trying to imagine it, you know? Like okay, so they arrive at camp. Um, what's her name? Jordan will be cold. Flock to the cabin. Okay, so boys carry their stuff in. Alex and Tom check out the hidden compart. Forgot what it's called. Trunk compartment or something. I'll just call it the tailgate compartment. I'll call it the tailgate compartment and I will search that up and see if it pulls up what I think. If it does, then I'll just use that term. Yeah, okay, so it has pulled up what I needed. Wait, no, this is like, okay, this is specifically that part. But there's another part where actually this is perfect for what I need. There's another part where they have the spare tires and stuff. Another compartment. But I can just use this. Okay, so there's gonna be a gun. Will be important later, of course. I was thinking it would be a shotgun, but maybe. I'll see. 1990 guns. Want a rifle probably. So rifle of the Midwest. No, not an M16. That's doesn't suit the story that well. I don't want a military type gun. I want like a Springfield maybe. Let's see. I think this is more of a hunting rifle, so it could work. What caliber? I think the Springfield here is .30. The one that I'm looking at least. It's an M1903 Springfield, officially the U.S. rifle. Is it a common hunting rifle though? Because like farmers would have hunting rifles or vermin rifles, right? So let me type and see. Common farmer rifles. Okay, so they have 22s, but that it seems like that would be more for vermin. Remingtons and Winchesters. Okay. Wouldn't say it's extremely common in like the 1990s. I can see it not being very common just because it's an old gun, but guns stay in the family, especially in rural communities, right? I guess what context I should add. Alex is, I guess he's like 19 to 20 something. I haven't made the age firm, but they're basically farm people. His dad and him have a mechanic shop where they basically service farming equipment. My internet and PC just died so fucking hard. Oh boy, I had to reset the whole thing. That sucks. Probably more common in the 50s and 60s, but further than that, I wouldn't think it would be so common. Yeah, and if it were, it would probably be like it wouldn't be stored in the back of a pickup. So I'll go with another gun then. That's a good feedback. Common rifles for farmers. $1990. So Remington, Ruger, or Winchester. I guess that narrows it down. Remington 700. That sounds familiar. Well, a lot of guns sound familiar, but let me check it out. Remington Model 700. Do we have this in a wood stock? 1962 to present. I have a variety of cartridges. 3 to 6 round. This is gonna be important because when they get to shooting, I don't want it to be like, action movie where you have infinite ammo until you actually line up a shot that will kill and then you're out of ammo. Let me see. Oh, even the police use this. Interesting. Oh, some of them. Yes, it has Woodstock. Nice. Yeah, I'll find an image of it with Woodstock then. I can go with this gun. It seems appropriate. I have to count their ammo too because they can't just spawn ammo. Alright, so I'll write the information here because it'll be relevant in the story. It has to be bolt action let's go at 6 rounds. Um, yeah, it's gonna be probably the lower caliber if it has six internal the lower caliber if it has 6 internal rounds. So I'm checking here. Or I guess it depends too on the. Okay, so we're being gun nerds now. I have a different laptop that I'm using to browse the internet for information because if I do that on my main computer, it will cause problems. So yeah, that's why you aren't seeing anything on the screen. Otherwise, it would show, and that would be an easier way to figure out what we need here. Okay, so it's chambered for the 308 Winchester as well as the 223 Remington. Damn, it's chambered in all of these different types. Hey, caffeinated ducky, how you doing? If it's in 308, it can hold 4 rounds and one in the chamber. Okay, so 5 total. Yeah, so 308 Winchester. So I guess the 22 or 223 Remington is it's 6 round mag, right? Seeing as 308 occurs first here in this list, I'm assuming it's like the most common one. So I can go with that. You're sick, otherwise chilling. Well, I hope you get better. But yeah. Alrighty. Okay, so 308. 5. And now's the fun part, because I always like to look at the ammo boxes from like back in the day. I don't know, I just like them. Okay, so let's go with 308 Winchesters, and let's see if we can find an image of the box. I'll save that. It just has to have enough detail in the story to be convincing. Doesn't need to cover every single base possible, but okay, so 1980s. Let's go with ammo boxes from the 1980s. I'm sure the design hasn't changed that much, but okay, so it looks like there's a rabbit hole here for me to research because I'm not getting a clear image right away. At least not with Google search. But yeah, I'll leave that tab open here and come back to it because I'm going to need a variety of like references anyways, so wouldn't worry too much about it. If you really want to, you can put it in a little wooden box with a latch. Yeah, true. Because then I can get rid of that problem. Like not having the correct brand for that date and time. Or not brand. What's it called? Box design. Okay, so I feel like we're at 5 pages at this point here. So I'll just make note here. Two pages for this information. Something I can do when I go back and edit the outline that we make is I can figure out like how I can compress things, and maybe I can even take the page and even chapter count down. That will help me actually finish this faster than the plan that I have. Okay, so set up camp and pack equipment. That's not something we need to do right now. That's when they go on the trail. When they're actually using the tents and stuff. Because yeah, the first thing's the cabin. And then they're gonna make it to the trail side, the trail campsite, which is there's one on the riverside, there's one at the plateau. The lakeside is not really where they're going. They'll probably go to the dock just so they can meet these characters to establish that they're there, and then they'll revisit that later when they have their beach episode or whatever. I forgot what it's called, but if it's an item that is of significant in the story, I'll just say key item. because you don't want it to be like, okay, you're further along in the story, and then suddenly, even if like logically he would know that his dad keeps a gun in there, you don't want to just kind of pull that out in storytelling because it feels kind of cheap when you do that. It's good to establish things early so you know what's on the table. That's why I need to get them acquainted with the residents on a superficial level. So the crew decide to I'll just write it like this. Scurry about the campgrounds to familiarize themselves with the residents. Location and residents. All right. Like the reason too that's important to get these models in, uh, the fact that there's no GPS and stuff. It's not like we're gonna tell the audience that, oh, this is taking place in the 80s. We just need pieces of information that indicate that, and whoever picks up on it picks up on it. Whoever doesn't. That's just how it's gonna be. It's part of the interesting experience too with fiction, where based on your own life experience, you kind of pick up different things and take your takeaways and stuff are different too. Never wrote a book before, but would it be better to introduce the character slowly, like in between events or something? Uh, it depends. So, for a larger story, it's probably best to introduce characters um when they kind of like are relevant to the ongoing action or the overarching plot. Like for example, if you're writing a fantasy and it spans like continents, you're not going to introduce a character that's not relevant, like a king of some other continent. You're not going to introduce him. You might refer to him, how like other characters feel about him or something, but you're not going to actually introduce the character till way later. In this case, it's a very self-contained location and stuff, so I feel like it's a good idea to introduce everyone. We kind of see who is where and what they're doing, and we have initial superficial ideas about other characters that are not going to be focused on. So some other characters that I had, I need to revise some things about the monster, but here it is. Okay, so there's a crazed huntress. I didn't write anything about any of these guys. There's an elderly couple, and then there's a lonesome fisherman. So I want them to at least, like, okay, maybe we'll just see the lonesome fisherman out on his boat. But we won't introduce him yet. We'll probably talk to him later. The crazed huntress, maybe we'll run into them, and the first impression is like, okay, this person is standoffish or whatever. And then the elderly couple, they'll be like welcoming and maybe like accommodating or whatever. But we need to actually write our way there first. I know like what's gonna happen to the elderly couple. I can tell you can tell you what's gonna happen to them. Okay, so here's the thing here. Well, I guess this will make more sense if I actually introduce the monster to you. It's it's essentially a skinwalker type thing, or a mimic, more like. I guess a skinwalker is a mimic, but something like that. Where's the monster? Some of this needs to be revised, but it more or less is this. Uh, so its mimicry is effectively, it depends on whether or not it can convince itself that it's uh, whoever it's pretending to be. And that means that if you aren't convinced that it is, its guise is going to break apart. So it's not the type of skinwalker that's gonna like, grab you, hold you down, and kill you or whatever. It has to get close to you, and it has to get intimate with you enough for it to basically, it's gonna eat your brain. um, and then uh, whoever's brain it eats, basically it gets some good information about how to mimic them. Let's say that. Skinwalker is gonna touch you in your sleep. Yeah, pretty much. Oh, writing this guy. Yeah, we're kind of doing that. I was supposed to be drawing as well, but um, I was supposed to get the outline done as well. So I guess we're gonna do that mostly for this stream. I'll go back to the drawing in a bit, in like an hour or something. But yeah, about that elderly couple. So essentially, the group is gonna encounter them, the old man, alone, and it's gonna be like a painful encounter. This is after we're introduced to them, though. Like we're gonna be introduced to them as, this nice couple or whatever. So they seemingly catch him with his pants down. He dresses himself and asks them if they've seen his wife, describing her to them. Claims she ran off to the lakeside to take some pictures, which is where the group might have had an encounter earlier. Unknowns to the group, the older man was actually the monster. It perfectly mimicked the man who was dead in the trailer bedroom. It would hunt the wife next, deceiving her with perfect imitation, and then take her form. So before they figure anything out here, it's gonna get to the wife. Of course, it's like a lot of this is gonna be happening in the background. So I'll have to figure out a way to tell this story without telling the story. What I mean by that is little pieces of information that the cast picks up on is going to imply what has happened to that couple. It's a vague question because the answer for introducing characters is as needed. Yeah, I was trying to explain that. I suck at explaining, by the way, Shuffle. So if anything makes things feel like it's more complicated, it's because I suck at explaining. Unsatisfactory, consider other questions. Why does a character need to be introduced? The answer to that new question may help you answer the first. I think it would be better to say photographs instead of photos. Photographs instead of photos. Wait, what are we talking about now? Oh, do you mean like when the characters are talking about photographs, they will say photographs instead of photos because of the time? Is that what you mean? Because that makes sense. If that's what you're saying, yeah. 80s, right? That's what they would say. Yeah, okay, so that makes sense here. Where did you see that? Because I have to write that down somewhere now. Because she takes Polaroid photos. That's something that she does, so I'll make a note here. Or would they say Polaroid in that case? I just heard you say it. Oh. Oh well. I can't remember what I'm even talking about half the time. Um, 1980s lingo. They're in the Midwest as well, so I have to pay attention to that. There's some here that I just can't use. It just sounds too silly. Nobody said totally tubular. What is that? I'll use the ones that stuck around, like wicked or lame, because I say that still. Rad, I say that still. Um, killer, I say that still. Sick, I say that still. Polaroid is a camera band. Oh, okay. Wait, Polaroid pictures are okay, so they're often called Polaroids, but that's just nowadays. What were they called in the 80s though? Yeah, because my brother's a photographer, him and his wife. Um, and they just call it Polaroid. But I don't know what they would have called it in the 80s. Like I know not to do something dumb like for them to call their like if she whips out a Polaroid camera and they call it retro, that would be pretty stupid because of course they're in that time. I know to not do things like that, but I can't find here if they had a term for it. Like there's something here that says instant prints. They're called instant prints. Term instant print is generic, not specific to Polaroid. Uh, I guess it's not worth getting hung up on. I had to do more research on this photograph thing because there's also the word picture. And I don't know if that meant like movie picture or there's also film. There's all these other little terms here that we have to kind of dissect. Maybe I should stop talking, making too many rabbit holes. No, that's fine. It's just gonna add to my tabs. That's all. And it's good, like, it's a good way of covering bases, I guess. Even if it's slowing down the objective of actually writing out the raw outline here. The crew decided to scurry about the campground to familiarize itself with the location and residents. Hmm. Have 867. Okay, that's more than me. I typically have like a couple, uh, like 100 something, let's say. I have tab groups, like, so each tab group will have 100 to 200, but yeah, never that much in one browser. And not that much in total, even. That's nuts. I have tons of stuff in the reading list though, so like there's a it's something like favorites, I guess, or like saving the web site for later reading. But it's just integrated in the browser as a reading list that you can access across browsers. All right, so I think first they should in okay, so this encounter the okay, encounter the hunter on the way to the elderly couple. I'll capitalize these guys so I know that they're significant in the sentence. Um, oh wait, I'm writing this in a weird way. Encounter the hunter. Hunter on the way to the lakeside. Of course, they would want to go to the lakeside first, right? Um, encounter the crazed hunter on the way to the lakeside where they meet the elderly couple. Is referenced by the couple, but he is out on the lake. All right, so that saves us time because we don't want to just like spend too much time talking. We want to try to get to the action as fast as we can. We still have some dynamics to introduce though, so like tensions and stuff. We'll establish it softly though throughout the conversations that they're having, both in the car and as they're setting things up in the cabin. I have to completely flesh it out for each of the characters here because they still have information that I need to figure out. Okay, Alex drives attends to the map. Uh, no GPS, which pushed them before 1990. Okay, so Kansas will be indicated on the map, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna maybe have like her head or her hand or whatever, something cover the wherever the county is, because usually the maps have like, or actually it could be a full state map too. I'll check. That way we have the location of Kansas. We have enough information for the time period. Open up a ref photo for horns, watched her stream a bit, put my drawing book down, and just check the tab because Shaft said something, realized I didn't. Oh, yeah, that's the distraction. Yeah. Shaft is distracting everybody, including himself. um, okay, so the setting, it's going to be established more here. The gun can't necessarily be used to establish uh, the time period, but it can be used to indicate something about the location, although it's very vague. So I won't even include that, the time and location. Let's just have it be a key item here. Um, we can have more group dynamics. Like maybe because Jordan is badly dressed, her sister roasts her or something. And then uh, the banter goes back and forth. Maybe in the back while uh, the action, which is, bringing things to the cabin. Everyone has to go to the cabin at this point. I put outhouse, but it should have something inside. I don't know what the specifics of that would be though. Like, would it have electricity and all that? I'm thinking nah, but not completely sure. What about a diesel generator? Is it connected to the primary power grid? Would say it. If there's any power, it would be a generator. Because I don't think that it would be connected to the power grid. The idea is that they're going out. It's something like a conservation or reservation. What are those places called? It's basically like wild area, but they allow you to go and camp and stuff. Maybe both of those terms work for it, but yeah, it's one of those. You can like reserve a cabin out in the woods somewhere. Cheap one probably because yeah, it makes sense for it to have less amenities in this case because one, it'll be really cheap. They're young and they just kind of go out further. I can establish that information too. Okay. Yeah, it helps with them going further out and in a more like mysterious slash isolated place for them to not have amenities. They can technically have running water if there's like a. No, never mind. I was gonna say if there's like a water tower type thing. Oh yeah, that's something else to deal with. Like when you have a water tower and the water's like going down, the gravity alone from that is usually enough pressure for everyone to have like running water around that area as long as they're connected to that pipe system. It's got hard to obtain homes and things in early 1980s. Midwest as well, like out there. I know their familial situation for Alex and his family. They're pretty good. They have a business and stuff. For Sam and Tom, they're not. They're kind of with their grandparents. But out of high school, their parents kind of fell apart. So that's why they're with them, with the grandparents. With Leia and Jordan, their parents separated, but their mother is really well off. Their father went out of into like the countryside. So I don't know if he's necessarily gonna be poor, but he's I would say that maybe living minimal. They're probably gonna be sticking around more with their mom because they're pursuing higher education. So uh water tower will typically function for a small town, yeah. They're technically not out in a town though, so I don't know if they would have a reservoir in like a uh, conservatory conservation area. Mm. So yeah, maybe I leave the running water out. No electric, no running water. What the hell are they gonna do? They have a limited supply of food. Outhouse is probably the better option because if they have no running water, then there doesn't make sense to have like a what's it called thing inside. They won't have beds. They'll have to sleep in their sacks inside even the cabin. One of them is scared of bugs, so they'll have a little thing there where they have to get rid of the bugs really quickly in the back. Which one? Yeah, you, the nursing student. On a conservation areas, they might for staff and for preventing fires potentially, but considering 1980s, like yeah. Man, I remember there's this conservation area that we went to, and they had a watchtower. It's probably common for it to be like this. Maybe there's even I don't think there's a reason for it. I think it legitimately was a hazard. But if you were to go to the top of the of this watchtower, and they just allowed people, so I don't know. Are they waiting for it to fall down or something? But you could go to the top, and you could, if you were to run from one side to the other side, the whole thing would be moving. So I'm thinking you could topple this thing if you wanted to by running side to side. That was a freaky kind of um, experience, but it's one of those experiences that you don't realize. Oh, wait a second, that was something really dangerous that I did. I shouldn't have done that. It was in Tobomori. It's an area in, um, I guess, the east of the GTA area of Ontario, Canada. Probably not very well maintained, the stuff over there in general. I do hear the American infrastructure is not the best. Well, in this case, it would be Canada, but same difference. Or I should say, in my case, my personal case, for the story, yeah, it would be America. All right, so going through the locations and residents, that'll probably be at least 3 pages. Want most of this information to kind of the inconveniences and stuff. Mm, the amounts of information just in here, I'll have to extend this to potentially 3 pages. Feels like a lot. 6 pages before they get out. They have to have a weird encounter or something soon. Otherwise, it's not pulling, it's losing grip of a reader. So they might need to see something weird. Yeah, so maybe when they're talking to the elderly couple, they kind of establish who's here, and they'll see someone who shouldn't be there, and just kind of be like, oh, there was another person. Maybe they missed, or they forgot to let us know about that person. at the end of the first chapter, they have to have. I don't know if it's to call this the inciting incident necessarily, but they have to have something happen at the very end of the chapter that makes it so that we want the next chapter. So I need to make sure I'm building myself towards that. It'll likely be 11 rounds that isn't in the gun because they would have put a single round. They would have put a single round extra in the gun, and they could reasonably have 3 magazines or clips. This has magazines or clips? I thought we were doing it. What's it called? I was gonna say hand fed. I don't know if that's a term to use. Where's the gun? Here it is. So you said 5 if there's one in the chamber. I'm wondering if if his dad would leave the gun loaded with one in the chamber in the back of the car. I would say that they say you shouldn't do that, but I can't say that it doesn't make sense. Can be modified to be magfed. Is that common? Would a farmer do that? Yeah, I think I'll just leave it then. Yeah, so we'll leave it like that, and then we'll just have an ammo box or two in the compartment. I just want to make sure that we have an idea of how many shots they have to work through, because I want there to be a scene where they do, have fun shooting, and they give the girls a couple shots, and maybe um, one of the boys teaching his girl to shoot is a bonding moment, but also her learning how to shoot a little bit will help them out later. So I want the scenes to kind of work with each other in that way. So I want to make sure they have enough disposable ammo. If it's 2 boxes, I wonder how much is in a box. 0.08 rounds per box. $40. All right, excellent. $48. Oh, that's even better. Oh, 40? Okay. Yeah. All right, so let's use that then. 40 and 2 boxes of 40. Wait, let me see how big a box is. Maybe I can give them more ammo. I don't know if I should be giving them more ammo or not, but um, man, ammo boxes are so hot when you open them up and you're like, yeah, I feel the same way about art supplies too. Like when I open up a box of new markers and stuff, it feels like ammo. Let me check here if I can get the box, like a comparison of the size. Hello, hello Eddie, how you doing? Finding a lot of boxes of 20 here. Okay, I found one with 40 actually. Okay, so 2 boxes of 40. Yeah, two at max is what I was thinking too. Like two boxes of 40. It's just why would he have that much ammo in his car, right? Um, Even 2 boxes of 40 seems to be pushing. We could have one depleted a little bit though, I guess. So 1.5. Let's go with 1.5 because that will make it feel a little bit less crazy. So obviously they're not going to count it. They're just going to remark that, oh, this one has seems like this one's halfway through, and then the other one's just going to be unopened. Of course, on the box we'll see that it has 40, so we'll know that they have around 60 plus whatever's in the gun. 5. feel like I need to think more about this part here, which is a sign for me to stop writing and go back to drawing. But we have a good amount to work with, anyways. That's potentially 9 pages, and I need 30 for the first chapter. I wanted to do the entire outline before I started. At least then I have like a beginning to the end kind of thing figured out. Um, which means that I can confidently kind of work on each chapter by each chapter. But maybe it's too much. Maybe I was trying to be too rigid with how I should be doing this. So yeah, I'll leave that open and I'll continue with the drawing. Oh, that's probably a bit of a flashbang. It's hurting my eyes. But I don't like to draw with gray screen because it doesn't give me the right contrast. Something else I wanted to do is if I'm doing this, well, I decided that I'm pretty much going to be doing this digitally, but with that, I'm not going to do much of a under sketch. I'm just going to kind of work straight into the inks. Because if it's digital, everything's edited. Everything is editable, if that's the word. Everything's nothing's set in stone, so I won't have to worry about having to go back and mess with certain details or something. I just need to make sure I'm using the same set of tools so that the visual style or the feel is consistent. Actually, it could be set in stone if you had one of those hard drives that's made of stone. There's actually a hard drive made of stone, or is that the ancient uh that artifact that they found that looks like a hard drive? Um, that you're referring to, internal hard drive. Um, is there a stone hard drive? I'm being stupid. Nothing pops up, so I guess you're pulling my leg. They do make them? Granite hard drives. Let me see. Is that just the brand of it, or? It just looks like it's a brand. Could have sworn they made those. I know they exist because I have a bay of computer on my computer for one. Oh, I can't find any. the goal for the drawing today is one, to establish a style, to have some idea of how long it takes me to draw it. I know I'm gonna get faster as I draw it, so I'll try to factor that in. And two, to actually try to assimilate the likeness of the characters, at least from what I've described them so far in the writing, so that it's like, okay, yeah, that feels like that character, the way that character looks or expresses themselves. So those are the goals with the drawing today and throughout the process, really. Nice drawing. Thank you, Hungary. How you doing? Is just stopping by. I'm doing well, and I wish you a good day. Yep, have a good day. Thanks for stopping by. So you wanted pre-production done this month, and then how are you breaking things up afterwards? I actually wanted to have the first release done by the end of this month, but we'll see if that gets done. I've been revising how I'm going to be doing pre-production to kind of help me speed things up. Today's word of the day is slumberous. Are you saying that you're tired? Because if so, you should go and have your rest. Um, so initially for the pre-production, I wanted to do the outline completely, which I still want to do. I wanted to do the outline completely and then use that skeleton of a story to develop, to flesh it out per chapter. But the skeleton is going to remain the same. And it's makes sense to me because rather than write the whole thing out with all the flesh, which would take a long time, I can actually have the thing being released as I'm putting it together, but it will be cohesive with the characters and the narrative if I have the skeleton figured out and the character profiles developed. It's a nice word. Yeah, it is. Slumberous. But yeah, for the first chapter, if it's like this much just for 9 pages, and there's 30 to go, you can imagine how it would blow up, and the amount of research that I have to do, the amount of references that I have to get. Like I have to get references for the car, for the gun, for the ammo. Each character I have to kind of figure out what their outfits are going to be. I have some general articles of attire that I've gotten references for. I have the trees and the foliage of that region and that season. I have specific landmarks, like there's a bridge, there's the cabin, the fire pit, etc., etc. I have all those general references figured out. But yeah, need to go through it bit by bit. Patience is a virtue that I do not have. But ultimately, whether or not I'm patient, it's going to take the time that it's going to take. I know that my goal is probably too much for me to handle right now at my level. So I'm going to fail to reach, to output what I need to output to reach that goal. But I'm going to get, let's say if I get half of it done, that's good enough. I'll get the other half done and then it'll be complete. So yeah, I'm not going to dwell too much on not being able to do things the way I want to do them or as fast as I want to do them. The major focus is just getting the work done. Because come the end of April at least, like I'm going to probably have a lot less time to work on stuff. Like after March. If I can get things figured out and get like the rhythm going by then, maybe that will offset my lack of time to work on stuff, but we'll see how that goes when we cross that bridge. Right now I can only focus on what's in front of me, which is this. How's your horn drawing going, by the way, Moron? Didn't pick it up again? Why? I put the book down. Figured it was a lot of effort. Yeah, do it. Do it now. Busy trying to figure out how to code custom chat overlay. I didn't even know what code custom chat overlay. Yeah, I don't know what that even is. I know there's like a some CCS stuff in OBS. There's something else, like the bars for progress for if you want like to show subs and whatever sub goals or whatever that stuff. There's like bars that you can have on screen and you could change how they look if you know how to code them properly or whatever. You do know something about it? You've got a custom overlay? My overlay is no overlay. I don't think I have anything. I just have the Kofi logo and my avatar. I'll have like a bar and stuff. Maybe some other things that I can add uh, when I actually have the comic coming out. Like if I wanted to put something in the corner that shows a progress bar, or maybe where to go read it or something. I don't know. Oh yeah, I have the chat messages too. Yeah. Yeah, I have the chat messages and I have this thing. But that's through a program. That's not anything I set up through code. Now that I look at this, I feel like it needs to move to the side, but um, maybe I can no, actually, I'll just leave it there because I'll probably have my avatar thingy take up more space to make it kind of equal between the Kofi thing at the corner there, across from me, and my actual avatar because I need to make another avatar too. Mm, that's exactly what I was thinking about. The chat stuff. Oh, so the chat stuff is all done through a program that you can get for free called Social Stream. And you can set it up however you want. You can change the colors and everything without any code. It just has like settings that you can do. I mean, I guess the hex codes, you'll need those, but that's not really coding. Um, what else is there here? The Fuji Tech is just another thing that is for free, and it's done by itself whenever you're talking to someone. Oh, I have this, but I never use it. It's supposed to be when I turn my mic off, it turns on automatically, but I forgot what the shortcut for that was. And I have the emote thing, which is the thing that has the emotes bounce around on the screen is also done through the social stream thing. It has a bunch of other features too that I haven't really looked into. So hope you have a good stream. Yep. Thank you for your feedback and all that. Hope you have a good rest. I assume you're gonna go to sleep or something. See ya. So yeah, I feel like I will draw the teeth. Not drawing them, not all of them, not in super detail, but like it does add like a feel to it. And I guess like having eyes that are super detailed while you're not having much on the mouth or other features is kind of weird. Like the nose, I can get away with that, but the mouth and the eyes, I think those are the two things that I'll focus on for expressions. Good Morgan, how you doing? Blue. 'How was your? I forgot what you were working on. Something traditional and then something else. Sleep was terrible. Oh, why? Did you go late or? 13 pages, damn. I have zero. I have 0 pages. Um, yeah. Oh, good job. 4 years ago. I think he meant the one that you're like the comic, the pages themselves, not the comic. Like, I think that's what he meant. Oops, wrong layer, and I can't go back. Well, well. Oh, so it's like very much an on and off thing. I see. Well, I don't know, 4 years. I need to get this thing done within a year. 4 years, and you might have 13 pages if you round up. Yeah, we'll see. Also, my hands must be weak. No clue how you to draw for hours without really aching. Well, we're not trying to carve a hole through the back of the table while we're drawing, so. I mean, you could call it artistic expression. You were drawing horns, and you could say, "Oh, it's the horns are going through the paper because artsy fartsy." And the museums will recruit you, and you'll become world famous. Easy. I was at a museum some time ago, and it was displaying a cone of grass. Oh, you mean like one of those art, quote unquote art museums? Yeah, I haven't been in a while. I'm, I mean, like well over 10 years. I can't remember, but I imagine things have taken interesting turns in recent years. There are some traditional exhibitions, like traditional in the sense like they or classical, I guess, exhibition. Because there's people who still do that quality of work. It's just they aren't known of because they're not celebrated, or um, a lot of them aren't even online. They kind of just do their thing without much of a social media presence. So there are exhibitions that I've heard of in Europe, particularly, where they congregate. So maybe I'll look into that and see where it is, and if I ever get the time and the interest to actually go and see such things, I might. Yeah, so this part here is just fucked. Okay, I do like the line quality where it's going. Um, so yeah, I will use this tool. Do it in this kind of way. It feels like it takes way too long though. So I'll probably do an undersketch with like when I'm actually planning out the panels for the comic. I'll do an undersketch and I'll just like I'll try to keep it really basic. Because something I have a problem with doing is like when I start sketching is I start to go into the details of the sketch, whereas I should just do the sketch and then ink on a different layer, ink the details in. I thought I would get started on the page, but I did not, so we mostly did writing. That's what we got mostly done today. So I will finish my stream. I don't think Blue's is streaming or anything, right? So I'll just end because it's just us anyways. So so I have a day to get it all done. The outline. I'll try to get as much of it as I can. Then maybe I will do like a super skeleton outline, and then I'll flesh out the skeleton a little bit, and then add more details as I go. But as you can see here, this is 9 pages of outline that is not even like super fleshed out, or like super. Like I need to go back to it basically and edit stuff down, but we have a lot of stuff to do. Yeah, so the first chapter ends on it. Okay, use of light and shadow. Okay, I'll look at all that and I'll figure it out. I want to get started on the next page tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes. See you guys.